Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today we are going to be trialing out the TikTok famous KVD Vegan Beauty Good Apple Skin Perfecting Foundation Balm. What a mouthful. After reading the reviews on this, I've determined that you either absolutely love this or you absolutely hate this. So it will be interesting to see how this fares on an over 40 dry skin, because I haven't seen any reviews from anybody that is in that category. So if you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload 2 to 3 videos here on YouTube every single week, and I'm also on Instagram if you fancy following me over there. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. I would really appreciate it if after this video you've enjoyed what you've watched, you come and join the Pampered Wolf pack. They are an extremely friendly bunch by clicking on that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Let's do a little bit of bump and we'll get some of this on. So this is the KVD Vegan Beauty Good Apple Skin Perfecting Foundation Balm. It's £29 in the UK, comes in 40 shades. I've gone for the shade Light 12, which is for light skin tones with a neutral undertone. This will give full buildable coverage with a fresh matte finish. It should be long wearing, it should be lightweight, and it shouldn't go cakey, and it should be flashback free. This is infused with apple extract, hyaluronic acid, safflower seed oil and glycerin to nourish and hydrate. It's supposed to be best for anybody with normal to dry skin. It's cruelty free and it's vegan. Okay, so as per usual, I have got all of my skincare on my face and I've given that plenty of time to sink in before I'm applying the foundation. You've heard me say this so many times before. Let's just have a look at the packaging. So it's really pretty actually. It's plastic, but it's really thick plastic, and this is fully recyclable. So let me show you. If I press into the palette a little bit, you can see that underneath the surface of the foundation, it's paler than on the surface of the foundation. So I'm hoping that this is slightly paler than it is in the pan, otherwise it's going to be too dark for me. We may have to bronze the neck slightly. So I'm going to take my Zoeva 104 buffing brush. I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. Oh, this isn't my usual thing. If you are a regular to my channel, you will know that full coverage is not me. I go for far more of a skin-like finish, but this does say, ooh, okay. This does say that it won't look like makeup, it can look like skin. So we're going to try and get that finished today. This is definitely coverage. Oh my goodness. Let's hope this doesn't oxidize because oh my goodness. Okay. Let's hope it doesn't oxidize because, you know, it's going to be way too dark. Oh my, I pressed into the pan once and I'm literally doing my entire half of this face. My entire half of this face. You know what I mean. It's too early in the morning. I am going to try and do a long wear test today because this does say that it's long wearing. Now, unlike some balms, this doesn't seem to be clinging to my dry areas yet, and it's got quite a nice sheen on it. It's not dewy, but it's definitely not matte. This is definitely not matte. It's like a satin finish. And at the moment, I like it. I know. Okay, so I've just reached the point where I'm needing to press back into the pan, but I may have got too much on some areas. So let's just see if we can spread it a little bit more. Honestly, I'm like this. I don't know why. I think it's the nerves, but we're just gonna spread. I'm going to try and not put too much on because I've got a feeling this is going to be really easy to do with this foundation. Okay, so now I've gone over the rest of my face again and taken some of the product back onto the brush. There is now enough on the brush to do my forehead. So top tip number one is go over everywhere else. Otherwise, I've got a feeling that if I'd have left this side of my face as it was, it would have just been a little bit too heavy as the day's gone on. So make sure you spread this out. Now, I haven't actually seen anybody apply this with a sponge, but we're going to try it, you know, just for giggles. So I'm just going to pat my... Wow, that's picked up a lot. Okay. I cannot believe how much coverage this actually is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you can definitely apply this with a sponge if you want to. Definitely doesn't have the same effect as usually applying it with a sponge. Usually if I apply something with a sponge, it tends to shear things out a little bit. I think because this formula is so super thick, it's not going to do that. So around my drier areas, this is definitely looking like makeup on my skin. Everywhere else on my normal skin, on my slightly combination oily parts of my skin, this is looking a little bit more natural. I think I'm gonna have to take some of this off. So let me use the other side of the sponge just to remove some of this. Because even with a sponge, this is easy to over apply, and I definitely don't want this going cakey throughout the day. Now it does feel, in my opinion, slightly heavier on my skin than I'm used to. Obviously, that's going to be normal because I don't usually go for a full coverage foundation, so it's going to feel heavier on my skin. But it doesn't feel nasty on my skin. It's got that warmth like a really nourishing product would have on my skin. So at the moment, I don't think it feels nasty. Okay, so I've just taken my concealer brush and dipped it into the product and done my eyelids. It's not started creasing yet, which I am quite shocked at. So I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, knowing that I can always take this off before I do the rest of my makeup if it's a complete disaster. I'm going to put the foundation underneath my eyes to see how this works as a concealer, because it is super full coverage and it is quite a nourishing formula. So I'm just going to take the tiniest little bit and see how this performs on that discoloration. That is pretty decent. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of my makeup. And yeah, I'll be right back. So this is the final look. I really, really like it. It looks very, very flattering on my skin. A little bit more coverage than I would usually go for, like I've said many times already in this video. But if you like more of a sturdy coverage, then at the moment, I'm really liking this one. I definitely wouldn't think that this was for anybody with an oily combination skin or an oily skin, because my natural oils have already started to come through this and it's already looking a little bit shinier. And that's only after maybe 30 minutes. So yeah, I would think that if you had an oily combination skin or an oily skin, you would end up blotting this throughout the day, or it might move. Definitely no transfer onto my fingers though. Even powder products blended out like a dream on this, which I wasn't expecting. I thought with this being more of a balm, more cream products would suit this better, when actually everything blended out really beautifully. Let me show you this in natural lighting up close and personal. So you'll have to excuse the fact that my face looks a little bit lopsided with the amount of blush that I've got on either cheek. It's just because I've got more natural light shining on one half of my face than on the other. So please excuse that. It looks absolutely fine when I'm looking in a mirror. So this looks really beautiful. It's a very natural skin-like finish. Like I said, more coverage than I'm used to, but it looks very pleasant. It really hasn't sank into my dryness, any fine lines, even underneath my eyes. It stayed looking really, really beautiful. I like it at the moment. Now, time will tell whether my drier areas look worse as the day goes on. I don't think this is the sort of formula that's going to airbrush pores. So if you are wanting a foundation that's really going to blur out the pores, that's going to airbrush the skin and make it seem a little bit more diffused, it doesn't really blur anything on the surface of the skin, but it will cover imperfections. I have powdered my T-zone to dull down that shine. I haven't powdered my cheek area at all, and there's no tacky feeling to this foundation, so it definitely dries down, and like I said earlier on, there's no transfer onto my fingers at this moment in time. I definitely prefer the side of my face that I applied with a brush. And the reason I feel like I prefer that side is because it's slightly heavier on the area that I've applied with a sponge. I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. I'll see you all in a bit. Welcome back to the check-in. It's now been just over 11 hours since I first applied the foundation to my skin. I got a little chilly, so I've had to put a jumper on, and you are going to have to excuse the natural lighting shots because I've only just realised that I've not reapplied my lipstick all day. So I've just done that. But I filmed the natural lighting shots before I'm filming this part, so my lips look a little interesting. Let's say that. Anyway, let's go back to the foundation. I now understand why there is such a divide of people that either absolutely love this foundation or absolutely hate this foundation. I have had issues with this today and my skin is dry, and I have had to blot this foundation numerous times throughout the day. It is still all intact though, which is a surprise to me, and it still looks nice to such an extent that I was just talking about the foundation before I came on to film, and Wes said, well, it's nice, it looks exactly the same as when you put it on. So it obviously doesn't look really bad, but there has been moments throughout the day. Anyway, let me show you this in natural lighting. I'm going to show you this in two different shots. One of them is before blotting and one of them is after blotting. This first one is before blotting, and this has been how this has looked several times throughout the day. So as you can see, super shiny. It's still very smooth. The dry areas don't look drier or more textured. Having said that, I wouldn't recommend this for anybody with super dry patches, because I have seen reviews that have said that this has clung to every single seriously dry patch of skin that they had on their face. I don't have any of those seriously dry patches at the moment, so I can't comment on that. But it definitely hasn't made my drier areas look any drier. Now we're seeing a video of after I've blotted my skin. As you can see, it looks very different, less shiny, and hardly any of the foundation lifted during the blotting process. One thing that has become obvious during this wear test is that this is an incredibly nourishing formula. It has been for me anyway. Now I always really nourish my skin before I apply any foundation because I've got dry skin. Maybe I've overnourished my skin today, I don't know, but I needed to blot my skin probably 4 times throughout the day, and I have dry skin. So there's no wonder that anybody with a combination oily skin or an oily skin wouldn't get on with this. This is mass coverage. It's absolutely phenomenal for that. It's very smoothing, very nourishing, but it's not going to be right for a lot of people. I like it. I think this will be absolutely fantastic if you're going on a photo shoot, you need your makeup to look absolutely superb for a couple of hours, and you need that supreme coverage. This is definitely one to get. It's really nice. All day wear, not quite sure. If you are one of those people that's already bought this foundation and absolutely hates it, I would recommend that you try this as a concealer, because this has really worked as a concealer for me today. I did have a little bit of creasing around this area. However, that is because I applied too much around that area, because the normal place that I receive creasing with concealers, it didn't crease. So I set it in place like I do all my concealers, and it's worn really well. And like I said, great coverage. So if you've already bought this and you really don't like it, I would recommend you try it that way just to get your money out of it. If you haven't bought this already, if you want to try it, give it a go. But yeah, I've had issues with this today. I'm not saying I will never wear this again because, like I said, enjoyed wearing it, but it definitely won't be one of those foundations that I reach for on a daily basis. For those of you that have asked for this review, I hope you found it helpful. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments section below, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.